Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. We're here. Lots going on in relation to the Champions League today. Apologies for the weird camera angles. My camera's gone on an absolute mad one in the last half an hour. I don't know what it's doing. It's gone to a very weird dynamic. I'll try and fix that a little bit later. But I wanted to go live as soon as possible. That's why I'm about 10 minutes late. Been just trying to fix this up right now. But Man United embroiled in controversy earlier on today. Their name included in the wrong box. Their name then not included in the right box when it comes to going up against Atletico Madrid. They got drawn out against Villarreal. That absolute bodge job from UEFA. There is now going to be another draw. Live at 2 p.m. We're here building up to that now with each and every single one of you. Make sure that like button has been smashed. Very, very important to the Football Terrace that you smash the like button. It truly is. I want to know what you're thinking and what you're feeling ahead of this. If you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're a Liverpool fan, and you were happy with your draw earlier on today, like how are you thinking and feeling now ahead of this? Are you feeling hard done by? Are you feeling frustrated, or do you feel that actually the right thing was done, and that you've got to remember Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, amongst a number of other clubs have also complained about the draw. What's your thought and what's your feeling? Massive and expensive error had to be retaken is what Abdullah's got to say here. And I think a lot of people would agree with you. It's something that does need to be readdressed. It's something that it just had to happen, in my opinion. As a Man United fan, of course, there's no proof of an error. That's from Sarim, one of our resident Liverpool fans. I hear you on that. I hear where you're coming from a rival point of view, because you man got Salzburg, and you may end up with Salzburg again. Who knows? You may end up with just as easy a draw, but I think justice has prevailed. Daniel here, who is a legend and super fan with his super chat here, says UEFA didn't take the blame; they blamed it instead of themselves. Yeah, of course, they're always going to blame. They were always going to blame. Thank you for your 21 months as a legend and super fan as well. Thank you. They were always going to blame another party. They were never, ever, ever going to look at themselves. Not at all. I think that was always a dot on the cards to happen, really. That's just my take. I always felt they were going to do that, because that tends to be what they do. As simple as that for me. That tends to be what they've done forever and a day. It really, really does. Luke says not the right. I don't know what that means, Luke. Terry, this is why they wanted the Super League. They wanted the Super League for money, not for this, but I hear your point. Let's see what unique way UEFA gets Ronaldo and Messi this time. Look, Man United can still get PSG. And if they get PSG and it's fair, then fair enough. It's not about who we did and didn't get. It's about the fairness of the draw. That's what needed to be focused on there. And that wasn't done. Dwayne, who's also here celebrating 18 months as a legend and super fan of the Terrace, he says, long time, Terry. UEFA shambles from UEFA. Hopefully, United get a better draw this time. Dwayne, welcome back. It's been a while since I've seen you in the comment section, my friend, but thank you for all your support. Did you see Max race yesterday? Yeah, I saw the end of it. I don't watch Formula One per se, but I saw it. We had a big chat about that earlier on today as well on the show, with lots of stuff going on. You would be happy if it happened to anybody else. Well, if you actually watched my stream earlier, and I know you're someone that watches all of my streams, you know that isn't true. Because before Manchester United drew PSG, once our name was included in the hat for Villarreal, I said that the whole draw needed to happen again. At that point, we may still have ended up with an easy draw. So that is completely untrue and wrong, because that is not how I behave, and you know that. United will beat PSG if they get them. I hope, but I'm not too sure, and I'm definitely not too confident about that. But we will see. Real Madrid does not deserve a redraw. It happened after it. Yeah, you're right. I do believe that bit's the harsh bit here. That is very, very harsh that they have to have a redraw, because that group, that was fine. I do agree with that element, Eduardo. That bit makes perfect sense to me. I think that they have been slightly hard done by there. I don't think anybody could deny that at all. I think you're absolutely spot on in relation to that. Going to get Tom Little, the Euro expert, on very, very soon to have this say. Very intrigued to know what's going on there. But do me a favor before we go any further, and make sure you smash that like button, please, people. Very important to the Football Terrace that you get that done right about now. Give that a little bit of a smash for us. Just bear with me a second here. Just doing a bit of admin. And I want to know if KJ can tell me how to fix his camera up, because it's actually annoying me. It's actually annoying me. But there we go. Apologize for that. Right. Let's have a look at what more of you are saying in the comment section here. Give us Benfica. That's what Ace Boy says. I think that, I don't know who Ace Boy supports. I can't quite tell. Is he a Chelsea fan? But look at the emoji. It's very, very small. Was it Man United who made the draw? Why are people going on about United? I said it when it first happened. Most rival fans were not bothered, because for them it was just a chance to ha and laugh at Manchester United. So I completely get that. The problem is, like I've said before, there was more than Man United involved. There was always going to be a redraw, always going to be a redraw. This farce will live on forever when United gets a supposedly easier draw and still lose. And I understand that, Jason. From a banter point of view, I totally get that. But I think you're missing the point. I think you're missing the point of what's being said. It isn't about Manchester United. When it first happened, that's what I focused on. And then you start to look at the knock-on effects. Villarreal weren't happy. Atletico weren't happy. It's the butterfly effect. Because Man City were taken out early, as an example, maybe Villarreal get an easier draw. Maybe Lille get an easier draw. Maybe if Bayern Munich don't come out in Atletico's group, they get Chelsea, and Lille get what they consider to be a more favourable tie. It wasn't just one club here. It was the knock-on effect of all of it. So I think we need to be very, very mindful that this wasn't about Manchester United. It was actually Atletico Madrid and Villarreal that first launched complaints into UEFA, not Manchester United. I think that's very, very important. Josh, you didn't say anything with your super chat, but thank you very, very much indeed. I will go mad if Chelsea get Munich. Remember, we are taking live reactions and calls as soon as the draw is finished. And remember, 6 p.m. tonight, the Bet Victor Top 6 show is back with us again. So make sure you're all back later for that. It'll be brilliant to see you all. There's a comment here over on our Twitch channel that says, to those who question the redraw and try to blame United for it, the fault is not at our hands. UEFA tried to manipulate the draw in their favor, and they were caught live on TV. The draw had to happen to maintain their illusion of integrity and to try and regain credibility, despite the damage already having been done. Sorry, do excuse me. Listen, I don't actually think they were being corrupt here. I just think it was incompetence, which is actually more of a worry in some ways, because UEFA didn't know who should be in each. UEFA have had to hire an outside company to tell them who should be in each group. It's crazy when you actually say it out loud. It's an absolute madness. A few of you were asking me earlier on today, actually, are we still doing the Football Terrace secret phrase? Yes, we are. The Football Terrace secret phrase is still available. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City fans were happy with the draws. Of course you were. Of course you were. There's no doubt about it. Of course you were happy with the draw. There's no doubt. Right, I'm going to bring on Tom Little. We've got the Euro expert on with us now as well. Can give us a bit more insight into some of these big European teams. The draw is going to start taking place again in about 10 minutes' time. I'll tell you what I haven't done. Because I just haven't got round to it yet. I haven't actually yet today had a look who got who in the Europa League. We've got a gal with us as well. So we've got Tom here. We've got a gal, the Euro expert on his way out as well. How's it going, Jen?
Terry, I just went back and looked at old footage from old draws to see like if this kind of stuff has been happening a long time ago, and I seen footage from a draw a couple of years back where the ball wouldn't come unstuck. It was, I don't know if it was frozen or something. It just wouldn't come unstuck. There was a situation where Roberto Carlos grabbed the Real Madrid ball and he didn't shake the balls around. He just held on to one ball and shook that one ball around and picked it out. There was other incident where they took the paper out of the ball. Instead of taking it out of the ball and then showing it, they went under the table, took another piece of paper and brought it out. So there's been numerous incidents where people have recorded where they're saying hypothetically this has been rigged or scripted in the past.
I mean, look, people have accused accused corruption and problems for many times in the past. That these accusations have been made, but this was just so blatant. And we all spoke about it earlier. We've got Euro expert here with this. Like, what was your take watching it from earlier on? Do you think it's the right call for this to be redrawn today?
Yeah, I think it's the right call to be redrawn. And as allegations go of like corruption and things like that, I think this is evidence against that. It shows UEFA aren't competent enough to rig this, because if they were, this sort of cock-up wouldn't have happened. I will add though, I mean, to give my perspective, as a United fan, I know you guys, you could have played the Benfica or Villarreal or whatever, but I actually was not, from a United perspective, I wouldn't be that too bothered about playing PSG. I reckon you would have beat them. They're going to be one of the easier teams to beat on current record. I'll say that much.
So are you a United fan undercover?
Nah. I just don't think PSG have. They're not. I mean, not to rant on about at the moment, but right now there's just no teamwork there, and there's with Rangnick in charge of United, one team will go into that fixture on current rate far more cohesive than the other one.
With what they've got, we're just going to have to grin and bear it.
The problem for Chelsea is they're in that unseeded pot, Joe, because they gave up top spot in the group on the final day of the group games. You can see the odds there as well. City are the favourites ahead of Bayern Munich, but all the English sides in the top six there. Chelsea, though, things are going to look very different depending on who they get, because they could get Bayern.
It would be mad. A few people saying that's cap what you're saying there, Euro expert, about them being an easy team.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they're easy, but like we saw against City, right? That it's not necessarily about pressing or whatever, but it's just the front three and are not in tune with the midfield. And if you look at any sort of French media source in France, everyone at the moment, it's not even just PSG fans, they're just saying they're getting quite lucky. I know they're top of the league by a lot of points, but when they come up against well-organised teams, like they played Lens recently and Nice, they drew against both of them. They can't really break teams down. Whereas United, I mean, at the moment, I'm not really sure about that, but United under Rangnick, with a few months in charge, actually think they're going to be quite a hard team in this competition. Whereas at the moment, Poch hasn't really shown much progress with PSG. So I wouldn't be that shocked if they go out in the round of 16. I think it's kind of on the cards.
I hear where you're coming from in that. What do you guys think is going to happen now in the draw? You know, Liverpool, City, and Chelsea got very favourable draws. Do you see them all being that lucky again?
No. Hell yeah, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're getting PSG anyway, fam. Don't act like they can't change up again. Now, listen. There is a very much a chance they still get a favourable draw. It may not be the exact same teams that we witnessed in the draw before, but I can still very much see a Liverpool getting Villarreal this time and Man City getting Salzburg or Sporting. Just the way it's going to be. All I know is that after all of this, Man United still going to end up getting PSG. I just got this really horrible feeling that after everything, the only team that doesn't get a change in fixture will be Man United and PSG.
They're already stars of the market and they can't change that now.
I'm more or less looking at who's going to benefit from this the most. So Villarreal is going to benefit from it, Atletico Madrid, Manchester United, and PSG. And you could even say Bayern, because if they're going to be getting an easier tie than Atletico Madrid. So a lot of teams could be benefiting from this, but the teams that are going to be affected the most, who are they? Juventus, because Juventus could get someone harder than Sporting. Liverpool could get someone harder than Salzburg. We're talking
again with Juventus, though. I think another team to watch. Sporting. I was on a stream earlier about when the draw originally looked like it was competent and about to take place, and now it's being reverted. It's kind of annoying, but I think Juventus are another team that aren't going to go far. They're currently like far back in Serie A, and we saw them get thrashed by Chelsea. If they had played Sporting, I reckon Sporting would have won that. So I was just thinking, for me, like, I think Lille, like you were saying ago, I think Lille obviously the biggest benefits. They might not have to play Chelsea here, and then they've got loads of other second place teams they could actually play. I think if you're a Man United fan, which obviously this is the team that's been majorly affected, right? So it's right to talk about them. But the teams you don't want to come up against really are like, I guess I probably like Sporting and Inter Milan, and then I guess PSG in there as well, obviously. But the other teams aren't on best form. Oh yeah, no, Ajax already top, so they can't face Ajax.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's going to be. How about yourself, David? From a Chelsea point of view, you're in this now. You're watching this. Do you care who you get? Do you think you'll get someone as easy as Lille? Are you now concerned again? Like, where's your head at with all this?
As long as it's not Bayern, I'm fine. Like, as long as, if I'm being honest, as long as it's not Bayern, I think we quite comfortably beat all the 3 other teams we can get. Bayern, it's a toss up. I'd still back us, but I don't. Again, as we saw from last year in the Champions League, I am not one of these people that believes in order to win the Champions League, you have to beat all the best teams. No, give me Lille again, please. Please give me Lille again. Give me Ajax in the next round. Give me Sporting in the semi. And then when we get to the final, if I have to play a bad team, then we can do that. But for now, easy. So, yeah.
I agree with him. Chelsea are favorites to go to the Champions League final. Roman, Big Daddy Roman already got it hooked up for them.
But again, as Prime mentioned, how can we be favourites, but you are saying that we have a 75% chance of being knocked out?
Listen, you know what? I misspoke. You're 100% right. Chelsea's buying this Champions League. Big Daddy Roman's got it.
The thing is with Chelsea, right? You've got to get Lille again. What's that? That's like at least a 1 in 16 chance to get Lille for the second time. If it's any other team than Lille, it's a much harder challenge.
Probability is interesting. So probability is even more interesting than chance. The chance is this is I was saying earlier about a team winning it earlier on today. A team winning it 2 years running. It's harder than the individual odds suggest because Chelsea could get Lille again as an example. But how likely is it that all the same teams are drawn out against each other this time round?
I'm going to do the maths on it right now.
The chance is probability versus chance, and probability of the same 2 teams being drawn out two draws running is it's almost whatever the odds are times the odds. That's the way I look at it. Does that make sense? It's all
there is a 0.06 chance of it happening again.
Is that for every team?
No, just for Chelsea drawing the same team again. If I went and did the whole draw again, it'd be like
wouldn't that be the same for every team?
That's the point.
It's the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Probability and odds are 2 different things. My dad explained it to me years ago when I was younger, but it's almost the odds times the odds times. It's like it's not the same as just you got the same chances you had before. It's probability and chance are 2 different things. But I don't quite understand the dynamic behind it. But there's something there.
If because what you say 0. What?
0.06 chance of happening.
All right. If Man United draw PSG again, what are we saying?
Frozen balls. Just watch his initial reaction when he grabs onto the ball.
Because if I see first draw PSG and then magically get Man United again with nearly every team available to be in that part, that'll be mad.
I don't know. I just wouldn't be. I mean, we saw PSG in the group stages. I just wouldn't be that scared of PSG. Obviously, you've got Messi in there. Messi's like the dynamite effect, right? Like it can change game on its head. But I don't know, man. Like I think
PSG's a disconnected team. The front 3 almost seem foreign to the rest of it.
I was watching
when they're against a team like Man City, who are so possession dominant in the opposition half. It's 8 versus 10 at times. Because Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi are not going to track back and do defensive work because in their minds, or if it's an instruction or not, they don't. They just need to be up the pitch.
Yeah, sorry to touch. Just wanted to add another bit on there to support your point, mate. Look, I was watching PSG v Monaco yesterday. There's a thing on Messi. So PSG cleared the ball and it went towards a card he would come on, and he dummied it for Messi. And genuinely, Messi was like here, and the ball was. It couldn't have been further away than the door behind me. And he just kind of stood there and watched it. And it's just like, there's clearly issues bubbling under the surface. They got players like Ronaldo saying, I already want out and things like that. PSG are big and scary because of the players they've got, but as a team, they're not there at all at the moment.
You know what it is? I feel like if you're Chelsea, if you're a Man City, if you're a Liverpool, the fear of PSG isn't really there because you believe that you are superior to them no matter what. You feel like you got a superior coach, superior squad balance and structure and whatever. But when you're Manchester United, who historically have had up and down history with PSG in general, when you have probably, you could argue, the same issues as PSG as a team, that's when you look at it, you're like, actually, it's not as simple as saying, well, look at their balance, look at the way the players are playing, look at the manager. We're basically the same thing as PSG. So that's where I think the worry comes in for Man United fans is we aren't as structurally sound yet as the other three teams. We don't know what team we're going to come up against in terms of how they will play, and we don't know how we will play. So it's a bit more up in the air. And plus, we've been in the Champions League in the last 3 seasons. If we get them again, that will be 3 times in the last 3 times we've been in the Champions League, we got PSG. So I think that's it as well.
I think you're one of the biggest winners in this whole redraw thing, 100%, because of the whole PSG factor. Even though PSG have been a bad team or they've not been the best, look at who you can now face. You now have an opportunity to face easier teams. You have now an opportunity to face either Inter, Porto, Benfica, Salzburg. Like you're gonna have an easier tie. To me, the interesting factor is Atletico Madrid get away from facing Bayern, but they now might face Man City or Liverpool or somebody else. That's just as tough. So it's it is.
Here's a question though, as you like, just sorry, so United, like, just to sum it up on then, would you rather play a team who are going to come at you like PSG and probably give you space, or would you rather be drawn against, for example, Villarreal, who are going to sit back and soak you in and may frustrate you?
No, but
Manchester United can't face.
You're not saying that we can get
Villarreal.
It's a team. It's like a team like them who, like, say, Salzburg will sit back against us and try to hit us on the counter. Do we want to face that?
You would rather face Salzburg any day of the week. Let's be real.
Or Benfica or Inter sit back, who got higher quality, but aren't going to come at you like PSG and potentially give you guys a space.
Well, that's a fair question because Man United for a while have been low blocks, have been a kryptonite for us, and even we saw against Norwich, it was still a struggle. Yes, we were a superior team, but it's still a struggle. The only hope is that we get a team that aren't as good as the PSG, but also choose to still play expansively. So say if we did get Ajax, like, I know we can't, but if we did get a team like Ajax, they may not be as good as everyone else in terms of personnel, but they won't change the way they're playing just because they're playing Man United or Bayern Munich. They will still play their way.
Yeah, do you know what I think it is for me as a Man United fan? Because we haven't really settled at all. Well, it's a week in, a week under. We don't know how we're going to be playing by then. We could get to the first round, the last round of 16, the actual game week, and be very confident, irrespective of who comes out in this draw, because by then we're cooking and we're looking good, strong at the back, scoring goals. Equally, we could get to that point and there's no improvement from now. And if there's no improvement from now, I don't think it matters who we play. We could get beat. So Man United is a really hard one for me as an individual to gauge where we're going to be, how we're going to be at that point. We're going to bring some more boys out. We're going to have Ram and Neeks joining us very, very soon on the show as well. Viewers, I want your take. I want your views and opinions. Man City fans don't seem to be that bothered about who they get because they don't really care about the tournament too much. Liverpool, of course, get Salzburg. How mad? We're going to speak to Tom next. How angry will Liverpool fans be if they end up with a much harder tie this time round? Then they will look at it as being a Man United-led issue. But we're going to bring Ram and Neeks in as well to have their say now. Smash that like and share button, people. The draw is very much on the way soon. They're a little bit late. They've been a shamble. They're probably, I don't know what they're doing. They're
dragging Andre Arsh out from back in.
They're getting the Man United PSG balls warm.
There we go. Let's do this. There we go. So I'm trying to get the framing right without the that works okay like that. There we go. It's not too bad. Lots of people involved in this now. Ram and Tom, if Liverpool end up with a really tough draw now, what is the reaction going to be like in your opinion?
Oh well, I'm not scared of anyone at the minute. The way we're playing, it'd be a little bit of a we should have really had an easy team. It's a bit unlucky that we didn't, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Because at the end of the day, I don't see any team that we can play beating us. The only team that will run us up that I think could beat us are Atletico Madrid, and we can't draw them. So everyone else there, I'm not worried about. I'd say over 2 legs, we beat them.
I hear you. I wouldn't be. I understand why everybody was referring to that guy as Claudio Ranieri. I see it now.
Yeah, it's BTEC Claudio, bro. Without the Premier League.
Now I can see it. Now it makes sense. Now it makes sense to me as to why. So we've got a couple of Chelsea fans on now, a couple of Liverpool, a few Man United.
Wait.
And, yeah.
Are they going through the whole thing again in terms of explaining how it works and the whole routine again?
What you wanted. That's what you wanted.
I wanted a redraw, not a re-show, bro. You know what I mean? Let's get on with it.
Yeah, just crack on with it. That's all we need. We just need you to bring these names out, get it done. Give Manchester United the Salzburg or Sporting, and then we'll be happy. That's what we need.
What? No, give us whoever fairly. That's all it is.
I'm going to say it again. Chelsea need to get Bayern.
Right, first name's coming out now, people. He spun it round.
If I see PSG, Man United to come out.
Here we go. First runner-up name coming out, people. And it is.
Oh, it's Salzburg.
It's Salzburg. The first name out. Let's hold back on that.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I was behind last time, so it was easy.
What are you not watching?
YouTube.
On YouTube.
Yeah, we just score on YouTube.
Yeah, everyone's out. Everyone's different.
All the teams but Villarreal can get Lille. The only team that can't get them is Lille. I assume they're in the same group.
Oh, Arsenal is back.
Yeah, he's back. Are they picking out the right balls this time?
So far they are. Picking out the right balls.
Well, he sounds slow. They're doing it this time. Make sure.
Yeah, they are doing it so slow. It's so slow. It is so slow.
Imagine they get it wrong, they have to redo it again.
Don't say that.
I'd love to do this stream twice a day all week, to be honest. Right, first name out, and it is. I bet it's Liverpool again. It'd be amazing if it was. That probability thing David gave us.
Oh,
Bayern
Munich. Bayern Munich. It's Salzburg.
Wait, Chelsea. I told you, Chelsea, unfortunate. Neeks, this is you, bro.
We can still get Madrid.
But Atletico right now.
You can.
That was their guy that came out. So Salzburg.
Yeah, Atletico are happy that they appealed.
Next name out. Sporting Lisbon.
Please, football heritage. Football heritage.
Yeah. I'm already seeing it's rigged. Okay, so Ajax can't come out. Every other team is available. Ajax are the only team that cannot go into the pot here, ladies and gentlemen. Who we guessing? Who's getting Sporting?
United.
Liverpool.
Whoever gets them's getting a hard team, I'll tell you that.
Real Madrid.
Liverpool, man.
Real Madrid needs to get Chelsea.
Yeah, if Real Madrid get thingy, that's good, man. That's good.
Wait, it has to be Liverpool.
Okay, here we go.
I hope it's Leo.
They're spinning it around.
Come on, football heritage. Ronaldo and Bruno go home.
Arshavin's twisting. The way he's holding it as well, like no corruption here. It is.
Oh my
days. Man City. Easy one, man. Man City.
Wait, here we go. Who's next? I swear.
It's gonna be Man United PSG again, isn't it?
We're getting PSG again. I'm telling you. They will not stop.
The next
Benfica.
Come on,
I'll take that.
Wait, they will not stop.
You don't want Benfica.
You don't want rivals.
You don't want Benfica. Benfica are one of the easier teams, 100%. Sporting are harder.
Benfica want the manager gone.
Okay, Man City always get easy draws, man. All the time.
Come on. There should be 6 balls in there. There should be 6 balls.
1, 2, 3. So I saw man pick out 3,
4, 5, and 6. There we go.
Yeah, you
did it right.
Ask Arvin, please.
Everyone's an expert now.
If there's any.
He dropped it.
He dropped the ball. Come on,
you can't open it.
on now.
Who's it?
Come on now. He's taking it out. He's opening it up.
Ajax.
Ajax.
Oh.
It's getting techie. It's getting
I've got your digs. Expect we get him again.
Wait. Can Man United get Real Madrid?
No.
No.
They can get Atletico Madrid.
We can only get Atletico and PSG now anyway.
Is that right?
Chelsea come out. Man United can only get PSG or Atleti now. It's gonna be Real Madrid or Lille for Chelsea. Real Madrid or Lille.
If this is Lille, it's a rig.
Come on, Eden Hazard. Come on,
Lille. Come on, Lille.
Wait. Hold on. Just wait. Roman money is happening.
You can just track the balls. Wait. Oh my God, he picked Leo.
Wait, did you just track that?
Yeah.
Come on, Arsenal.
No way you just tracked that.
No way did you not. No way did you track it. You did not track it.
Oh my Lord!
Wow!
I'm telling you,
we're getting PSG again.
This Roman Abramovich money is long.
PSG again. Next, who's up next?
PSG's coming out, and they can. Man United are pretty much. It's it.
We've got Inter.
So here's
Atletico Madrid. Either United or Juve.
Wait.
Or Real.
Yeah, Liverpool
or Juve.
Man United or Juve for this. It's a 50-50 pick here.
It's Man United. It's going to be Man United.
I like that.
But Atletico Madrid or PSG.
I'll take Atletico.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take Atletico
Over PSG.
I won't track this one.
I'll take it over PSG.
I can't see. I know what you think. Look how quick he took the ball out.
PSG again.
I know what he's doing.
I want Atletico. They conceded 18 goals in 16 games.
Man United versus Atletico.
There you go. That's a better too.
It's tough though. It's tough.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be good.
Who's the other?
It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a good game.
Liverpool PSG though.
Woo! Yes! Yeah! That's good.
Villarreal.
Oh, please.
I thought you actually have to.
I'll take back everything I said about. I'll take back everything I said.
You're right.
You can only get Juve.
Juve.
It can't be us because it's because of Real Madrid. It's because of Real Madrid. It's the stupid life. Oh,
Liverpool.
Wait, what is that, Ram?
They can't
because Real Madrid can't draw Villarreal.
What's our problem with that?
I
don't have any issues with that.
I don't get how this works.
Terry, cue the fans. What we said?
Oh my God, we got either Inter or PSG. Oh my God.
Inter's fine though. Inter's fine. You'll beat Inter.
No, you bought both.
Inter like near top of Serie A. They're really good.
They're not fine.
Inter have come out.
It has to be Inter because they can't draw Real Madrid.
Exactly.
Okay, you're right. What are they going to say through?
It's Liverpool. Yeah, you've got.
Liverpool got that. Liverpool win that.
Yeah, Liverpool win.
That is.
Wait, so who's got PSG?
Real Madrid.
That's a good one. I like that.
Is Inter like easy game? They played 17 this season and lost 1. They've been like one of the better teams in Europe.
It's not an easy game. It's not an easy game.
I think,
guys. So look at this comment here. Terry's true cheating colors coming out.
Terry, you hit the ball.
Terry rigged this whole thing, man.
That's a green screen. Terry's actually doing the drill with.
Yeah, he's doing it right now. It's a drone.
The thing is, when Liverpool drew, I would back them to win. That's the thing.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, but I didn't want Inter, man. Inter.
You blocked them, bro. That's not a concern.
No, it's not as simple as that. Inter
bro,
played.
They don't even have the best player from last year. He's gone.
Inter have been like.
Oh, you mean Lautaro's still there, David, man?
Inter have arguably been a bit of a step up from last year. Like watching them in Serie A, they've changed the way they played under Conte. They're not sitting deep. They're actually pushing up a bit harder. Like the only real they haven't really got a weakness in them because Dzeko's kind of stepped in and got the goals. They've only lost 1 of 17 games. They're definitely not an easy tie for Liverpool.
Can we all admit though, the draws as a whole are more interesting this time around?
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
I don't know.
I'm still confused.
They're more interesting, bro.
Maybe.
These
are from the neutral perspective.
Yeah, these are the draws that have come out here because Bayern Munich got an easier draw this time around in Salzburg. Man City versus Sporting. Euro expert likes Sporting, so we'll talk about that in a moment. Chelsea Lille, there's no point talking about that. Chelsea don't win that by 4 straight goals. It's an embarrassment if we're being honest. Man United versus Atletico. Liverpool Inter is going to be an interesting game, and of course the blockbuster tie on paper: Real Madrid versus Paris Saint-Germain. Man City versus Sporting, though. How do we all anticipate that going? You're an expert. I know you watch more European football than most people on here. Yeah. You're just sort of speaking about Sporting being this really good team at the minute. Do they stand a chance of beating City in your opinion?
It's a tough one. So Sporting aren't really a team who are gonna sit back and play a deep block. So they play a 3-4-3 and they try to press the opponent. So obviously against City, that's quite a tough thing. They don't really have any sort of proper standout star players. They've got Pedro Goncalves up front, who's quite good. And they've got their right wing back, Pedro Porro, they just bought from City, who's really good. But what's really good about Sporting is that if you look at the Premier League, we look at teams like Tottenham United in recent months who feel like they haven't got a plan, they're unorganised. And Sporting, it's incredibly well organised by manager Ruben Amorim. So it's like every player kind of knows where everyone else is going. I think they had the best defensive record in Portugal last season. They're near the top of the league this season. And just to give you guys a chance as well, recently they played Benfica, right, who did well in the Champions League and they demolished them 3-0. I think all 3 goals came within 60 minutes. So they're definitely not a pushover team. It'll be interesting to see how City plays against them because they're neither a possession team or one that's going to counter. But yeah, they're definitely not a pushover.
This was
sorry, there's some people are saying there was a cock up with the Villarreal thing.
Why
no.
No,
because Liverpool just talks too much. That's the problem.
Villarreal couldn't play Liverpool, and I'm not sure why.
They couldn't play us because Inter Milan can't draw Real Madrid or Juventus. At the end of the 4th one, the draw was practically set. Real Madrid can't play Villarreal.
So Real Madrid can't play Villarreal because same country. Inter can't play them for what reason?
Inter can't play Real Madrid because it's the same group and they can't play Juventus.
That makes sense then. So therefore they have to take Liverpool out of the equation so that they can be that kind of makes sense in relation to that. Andy asking the same question there. Stop crying, United. As I said earlier on, listen, I don't think I think Man United have got a slightly easier tie, but it isn't like we haven't got a minnow. When it comes to Atletico, they're not the same Atletico of 2 or 3 years ago. In terms of games that I've seen them in the Champions League, United have got a chance in this match. What do you say, Nick? So are you happy with this draw compared to PSG, or feel pretty much the same?
I'm happier. I don't like the potential of that front 3 or even 2 of the 3 in Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar. So I'll take Atletico Madrid. It's going to be a tough game. It's the Champions League after all, and it'll be interesting to see the styles. We know how Simeone generally likes to play. It'll be interesting to see how we're playing under Ralph at that point. There was a discussion before about low block or high pressing teams or whatever. We want teams that come out. I think it's too early to say in terms of under Ralph Rangnick. Under Solskjaer, I get it, but even then, I still rather a worse team who sit back than PSG are going to come forward because they can come forward and they can still beat you.
And this season as well, they're not the strongest. You know what I mean? Especially in the Champions League, they scraped that last spot. You know what I mean? You would have thought they would have took it a bit cleaner, but they didn't. So I'm happy with the draw. It's not going to be easy. They're going to play in a way that will frustrate us. Definitely. I hope we'll be up to form by then. But I would rather face Atletico and their squad of players than PSG's personally.
You know what helped?
Sorry. I think there was a mistake. There was a mistake because I'm looking at the draw, and the last 3 fixtures were Villarreal, Juventus, Inter, Liverpool, PSG, Real Madrid. Liverpool could have drawn Villarreal,
but then Inter would have had to draw 2 teams that they can't play against.
Why can't? Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Inter can't
So
play.
we had to go out. We had to go out then.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is that even though, like, obviously, fair enough, Man United can be more confident about PSG than, let's say, but I think you have to remember that Liverpool did, like, especially in the away leg, they, like, as contrary to a lot of popular belief, they struggled in that game, especially in the second half, where I believe that if not for the red card, Atletico could have easily won that game. And that was when Liverpool played quite a strong team as well in that game. And obviously, again, contrary to popular belief, a lot of Liverpool fans think they were comfortable in that game. That is not true. That is far from the truth. Atletico were literally, for a large period of the game, all over them and had, like, they should have had a penalty. Like, we literally witnessed the fact that they should have had a penalty.
He died, mate.
Oh,
yeah.
Ram. I know
we're not going over this again. Like,
but one thing, Terry, that I'd say that United fans should be confident. Ronaldo does love scoring against Atletico and Simeone. Like, you saw what he did at this the Juventus Stadium against them. I think it's 2018-19. He scored a hat-trick in the return leg. So I think you guys will be fine. I think you guys will honestly be fine.
I think fine. Look, we can beat them. And look, and I said it earlier, we could beat PSG. Would I prefer an easier team? Yes, I would, but you take what you get. Jimmy here says, imagine crying about the first draw and then getting a harder team. As we said, Jimmy, like myself and Neeks and KJ, we said the draw had to be restarted as soon as our name got drawn out of the Villarreal box. So that was ever before we knew we got PSG. So let's be very fair on that one. Are we forgetting Cristiano Ronaldo's record against Atletico Madrid? And look, I'd love him to bang in another hat-trick against them and put us through and all that jazz. It'd be amazing. Chelsea boys, I mean, I don't suppose you've got any fears, worries, concerns about Lille. You're going to smash them, right? They can't touch you at all, can they?
We'll beat them. It's a Champions League tie, so they're not a bad team, but we are the better team, so we should beat them. So.
I wouldn't be that confident.
Imagine if they beat you. Imagine if they beat you. It would be so funny.
Wait. Are we not going to address the elephant in the room here? 0.006%, I was told.
Yeah, I'm telling you, David jinxed it. David jinxed it, man. David jinxed it.
No. Wait, I'm so confused.
And Roman with his money, man.
Hold on. We all went to school. 0.06% isn't 0%, so it is still possible.
No, it was impossible. Where did I say it was impossible? I didn't. I'm just saying.
It's high.
You guys are writing off Lille.
Of all the teams to get redrawn in the same team.
No, hold on. I want to address this point though. Obviously, you were expecting, fam, of course. And I know a lot of guys who watch League One football, and we're not trying to write off Lille, but at the end of the day, we have a job as content creators to give our predictions. And at the end of the day, if Chelsea lose to Lille over 2 legs, it is a travesty. It is bad.
It is. Without a doubt, it would be one of the most embarrassing defeats that an English club has suffered in knockout stages of the Champions League. Because
they'll be bad champions.
What, mate?
Would be bad champions, yeah.
They will be bad champions.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I hear you. So it has to be a game where you're looked at as the overwhelming favourites and to be pushed through. On it happening again, though, what helped Chelsea was the fact that Bayern Munich and Ajax got drawn out early because it gave that opportunity for Lille to be the team that Chelsea got. If Bayern Munich and Ajax were still in the pot, by the time it was Chelsea's name came out, it was practically only Lille they could get. So it is one of them things, and it's the luck of the draw sometimes. And I think they were the only tie to be the same fixture, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It became a 50-50 chance. That's how.
If Chelsea got Lille and Man United got PSG again, then you can shout conspiracy. But
hang on, wait. Didn't Ajax finish first in their group?
Yeah.
Didn't Bayern finish first in their group?
Yeah, and they got drawn first.
They were the first 2 that were drawn.
I swear it's meant to be runners up.
Not drawn against each other.
Not drawn against each other. They got drawn.
They were drawn 1 and 2.
Hey, Why is everyone trying to find a reason for the draw to be wrong? It's not wrong.
No. Listen. Right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying.
I don't want to go San Siro again. I don't want to go.
I'm just saying Michael Massey just takes it on the side. That's what I'm saying.
Look, it is what it is, and I think all the English clubs can go into this next round between confident and Liverpool will beat Inter Milan. You guys made AC Milan look like babies.
AC Milan are baby team. They're full of babies.
Yeah, okay, but you made them look like babies. Like Italy, how much better are Inter than AC Milan?
They're top of the league.
Quite a bit, probably.
How much though? Enough because what I mean is when you draw comparisons, like the way Liverpool manhandled AC Milan with ease, I don't see that Inter Milan are so much better that Liverpool are suddenly going to look at this game.
And AC Milan were just top of the league as well recently, so it's not like.
But the thing is with AC is that I think when I have to check the squad again, but when they played Liverpool, I'm pretty sure they were quite injury hit, and also their squad isn't that deep, whereas Inter squad is a lot deeper, and I think they're more willing to kind of spread their resources to the Champions League, which kind of makes them a bit tougher an opponent. And also, AC Milan in Italy, they play better with the ball and not really the team to kind of sit back a bit. And I think maybe that played against them against Liverpool. I'm not saying Inter are the favourites against Liverpool. I'll just make that clear. But I think that's what separates them. That's why Inter are a bit more well set up to play Liverpool, and that's why it wouldn't be. I don't expect us to be manhandled in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not saying manhandle, but I still think Liverpool should be very, 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 very confident in that game. Chelsea, it's done. You're already through. Man City, I respect everybody's opinions on Sporting Lisbon, but you can't spend what City spend and have Pep Guardiola and be worried about this game. United, we've already spoke about, is hard. The blockbuster tie on paper, PSG, Real Madrid, it's an intriguing one because a lot of people in the previous stream today were telling me that we're kind of wrong to overlook Real Madrid. Like they're a lot better than we all think they are. Is that fair? I don't watch the league enough.
Just real quick on that though, you got to feel for Real Madrid because they drew Benfica when the draw hadn't been botched up. They appealed, they got rejected, and now they've got PSG.
They got the E.
Yeah. Wait, when Perez was rubbing his hands and then he did the redraw, it's like, wait, this is not what I read. This is not what I read.
Perez is bringing out a Super League statement tonight.
But to be fair though, look, at the end, I also think why that Atletico game is so interesting is because Atletico obviously didn't want Bayern. I feel like the same way Man United fans are content. Obviously, yes, it's not the best draw, but content with getting Atletico Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid fans will be content with getting United as well. Do you know what I mean?
Well, definitely over Bayern. Definitely over Bayern.
But PSG are not content. They would rather play Manchester United than they do Real Madrid.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Bro, this year, Vinicius is cooking.
He is
cooking.
And Benzema's still doing this stuff.
And Benzema's still doing what he does. So.
Let's remember as well. Oh, sorry.
Go on, mate. Go on.
I was going to say, let's remember PSG have had, in the Champions League this season, that was their worst performance in the Qatari era, points-wise. Pochettino also has the lowest expected goals per game than any PSG manager since Kiyosar took over. So they are probably the lowest point. You go on to any PSG post, you see pretty much every PSG fan saying, Poch out. I think, from watching both PSG and Real Madrid, I think Real Madrid, it's a much harder time. Let's not forget PSG 2 seasons ago beat Real Madrid 4-0 in the group stages. But I think if I was betting on this, I'd say Real Madrid could go through and it could still end up being a little bit embarrassing for PSG, but we'll have to see.
It'll be Don Carlo versus Poch, innit?
Ramos is going back home as well.
Yeah.
If he ever plays.
If he ever sees pitch.
And Mbappe's playing his future club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's dropping a stinker. Mbappe will be crap for those 2 games and secure his future.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I've got to head out there.
No worries, bro. It's going to be interesting with Poch because there is so much pressure on him. There's so much pressure on him to deliver. a Champions League, like there is at every manager at PSG. Imagine going out in a round. I know it's against Real Madrid, but imagine going out in a round of 16. That's him done. I mean, I believe they'll sack him at the end of the year if that happens. Just got to hope he doesn't come to Man United over Ten Hag. That's kind of it, really. Who did Ajax get?
Benfica. They are pounding them. They are going to pound them differently.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Slapped.
But then again, Benfica will say that they can beat Ajax because it's better than getting flipping Real Madrid. What was that?
Whoever's got their thing open, please mute whatever they've got on, please.
What? That sounded like WhatsApp.
Yeah, it was WhatsApp.
Whatever it is, just give it a mute. Sorry, what you get? Yeah, Benfica. Again, it's all about. We know that Ajax are hard, but if you think about some of the bigger and more potent teams, and I know that people will say, well, Ajax got maximum points. They did beat Dortmund, but like Benfica would prefer Ajax over getting Bayern Munich. They prefer them over Man City. They prefer them over Liverpool. They prefer them over Real Madrid. Like they might have already had one of these teams in their group stage, to be fair. So do you get what I mean? Probably, who else, barring Lille, who else would they have preferred? Like legitimately, Man United. That's about it. Maybe Juve. Like there's only one or two teams.
Who did Juve get?
Juve got Villarreal. That's a good game.
That should be interesting.
I think that might be a boring game, to be fair. As both teams who just want to sit back. But on the Ajax point, Terry, kind of want to point out as well because Ajax has got the weakest goalkeeper in this competition. They've got 40-year-old Pasveer in goal because Onana's still out and they haven't got any other goalkeepers in. So that's literally a permanent weak spot they've got, unless they address it in January somehow. So
they'll be fine. They'll just find someone from the academy. They've got like a
no, they already did, and they sold into Brighton, so they're stuck with this guy. That's what they're playing with.
They'll find another person. They
apparently they want Dean Henderson, isn't it? So
I want to talk about what was the odds again, Daniel? 0.06 for Chelsea.
I don't know if those were the odds. That's what KJ said.
That from what I remember from my A-level maths, that's how I calculate the probability. So it may be. I guess
the press probably went down as well after every draw.
Maybe it was 0.6 instead of 0.6.
It's not. It's definitely. Yeah, it's definitely not 0.6. I'll tell you that one for free.
Euro expert though is right. That was the likelihood of it coming out before it began. But as soon as Ajax and Munich came out, the odds of it became a 50% chance. So it actually it's just because the Champions League draw isn't. If it was just all the teams and anyone could get anybody, barring any winner could get any runner-up, then it would have been highly unlikely for the same thing to happen twice. But it doesn't. The draw, a bit like with the Liverpool getting getting into Milan, like once a few other, the draws before it had come out, it become 100% probability they were going to get them. So no, I kind of get that.
There's no away goals, are there?
No, none. Away goals is gone. Okay. Away goals is over.
Barella was also missing our first leg and maybe the second because obviously he got the red card against Madrid. Barella.
Oh, that's quite a shame in the
towel.
Very Inter not.
No, but this is what
I mean, it helps when their best player's out. It does help. It helps a lot.
Like, you have to give Liverpool their credit. Obviously, I understand Inter are a difficult side, best team in Serie A and whatnot, top of the league. But again, like I think the strength of the English teams, it's like when the Spanish teams were on top. Like there wasn't let's not underestimate these guys because, bro, they're the best and they're the best for a reason. That's why we say we think they will dominate. And
you know what it is.
The only reason it's annoying is because we would have dispatched Salzburg in one leg and we could have rested players from the second leg.
Exactly.
There's no guarantee we'll dispatch Inter at the San Siro.
English teams are not allowed to be superior. They have to respect every single person they play. Whereas compared to everyone else, Bayern don't have to respect Salzburg.
Exactly. And I'll even go as far as saying that I really, really want a Liverpool-Chelsea final. That's what I want.
I don't.
We should say though.
I don't want that.
I don't want.
We should say though about. I was about to head off, but I will say like I think the English teams like I expect them to win all of these legs. Like they're going to go through, but we should say like the only reason Chelsea finished second is because they couldn't get past Zenit. And what happened to Liverpool a couple seasons ago when they've gone out to Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid? It's expected, but we definitely shouldn't write these teams off. Like They're not Salzburg, so there's chances here. There's big chances.
You have to say Lille aren't that great. Lille are 11th or 12th in League 1, aren't they?
I mean, we'll save that for maybe we'll save that for a preview. I'll come on, but they're Chelsea have the easiest tie. But again, it's not going to be 3 or 4-0. I don't think so.
Also,
do you know what I find interesting about those things? Sorry, that is you know when Leon knocked.
City. Yeah.
Everyone was like, actually, you know what? You can take it. Yeah.
No, it was one game. So they wasn't 2 legs. And this is what I would say. There is a chance that an Inter, that a Lille, that a Sporting can win one of the 2 ties against the teams they're against, the Prem teams they're against. But you very rarely see that same level of performance like 2 games running in the Champions League. Like I honestly feel like, yes, the way that City went out to Lyon, you'd go, people will use that as a case in point. There was a return leg 6 or 8 days later, depending on what way round it is. I believe City will come back. If you get where I'm coming from, like those kind of teams, they're not going to have a big enough shovel to dig themselves out the hole they're in. Like Liverpool, City, and Chelsea are just so superior. And I know people hate us saying it. They really do hate the English clubs being bigged up, but they just are that good. They're so much better than their European. Like I said before, Bayern Munich are a very good side, but for me, Liverpool and City and Chelsea are clear of them. Not country miles, but they're in front. They're at least 12 seconds in front. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to use now. They're 12 seconds in front.
Don't say that.
Not
Terry.
12 seconds.
I don't think they're clear, but I hear
because when Michael Massey comes through the UEFA, that 12 seconds comes down real quick, bro. Real quick.
I'll have to head off, by the way. But yeah, enjoy the preview. They're expected to win, but I think these games should be good. I'll say that much. But thanks for having me on, guys.
No worries, mate. Speak to you soon. Top man. Thank you, Euro expert. Banana is back. He played in the Ajax last group game. Is what someone said there. I wouldn't be overly optimistic for United to beat Atletico. You're trying to tell me that a team that has issues against low block teams is the favorite. United has a pitiful record in Spain.
But you've got Ronaldo. Ronaldo loves Atletico.
Man United do, but do you know my response? No, Man United are the only team in this who I don't think we can judge right now because we don't know how we're going to be playing come February. So I totally respect that super chat, and I think it's right to large degrees. How Man United do in the Champions League is a conversation that starts a week before the knockout stages begin. By then, we'll see what Ralph's been able to do with his squad, who we bought in January, how we're playing. If we're cooking by then and looking great, everyone's opinions are going to be different. If we're looking like we did against Norwich, no one's giving us a chance, and rightfully so. So, look, from my point of view, I'm just very relaxed about where United are, where we're going to go, and everything else in terms of that. But what I like about it, barring the PSG Real Madrid draw, like if the favourites win each of their games, the quarterfinals are going to be a madness. The quarterfinals could be. I'm going to put Man United through for the sake of argument here. Bayern Munich, Man City, Ajax, Chelsea, Man United, Juve, Liverpool, Madrid in the quarterfinals. There is no that makes the
PSG.
I'm going to go with Madrid to beat PSG. That's what I'm going to go with. And even if it is PSG, you throw PSG into that. That last 8 is ridiculous. That last 8 is
there are no easy times.
And I think we can't get Juve as well till the semis.
No, you can get Juve.
The quarters is where
they just clears out after the quarters.
So Juve up.
Yeah, because I remember we play. You can play teams from your same country in the quarters. That's why in the 2006 to 10, you had us via Arsenal. You via Arsenal. You had all them.
I thought Dan's right. I thought you couldn't play the team from your group into at least the semis, if not final.
That's what I thought. But yeah.
I thought that was pretty much the way they do it. But we'll see. But either way, like. It won't matter to Man United because Villarreal probably are not going to go through. But if all those teams go through, you're highly likely to get at least one English team. Well, you got a big chance of one English team that sort of getting each other. Do you know what I'd love to see in the Champions League? It never happened. Man United, Liverpool.
Ooh,
No, and I say it from a point of view of.
Would you want that though? Really?
No. Not in the quarterfinals. I wouldn't want Man United Liverpool in the quarters, but I would love to play Liverpool. I just feel again, it would just be if I take myself away as a Man United fan, football has never seen it. We have seen Barca, Real Madrid. We've seen, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, United, Arsenal. We've seen that, and there's probably other European clashes we've seen that I'm not sort of paying respect to right now. We've seen Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid in finals. Man United and Liverpool have never played each other in a major European game. That's something it becomes.
I saw the preview already. I saw the preview already in the Europa League, and I did not like it. So I don't want to repeat that again.
Yeah, we did.
I don't want that again. I'm good.
That wasn't even them at full strength.
What I would say is this: I get that from a Man United fan point of view, but from a spectacle, I mean, I've always thought about Man United Liverpool final one day, not this year because I don't think United are good enough, but it would. I don't think either fan base will be able to breathe or cope with it. It would just be so consuming.
The way you're talking, you sound like Michael Massey yesterday.
I'll tell you, the spectacle is the most
the spectacle will be mouth-watering.
That's a point. Like someone put it in the comments. We saw Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund final, and even if they didn't go through, it would have been Real Madrid versus. It was meant to be Real Madrid versus Barcelona.
And that's my point. I think it's a game that I think I actually would prefer it not to be a final. I'd like to see two legs, one at Anfield, one at Old Trafford. It would just be, and that's why I want Man United to get better as well, because you boys will all remember, probably barring Tom, who he might remember, but it was definitely actually Tom and David were both kids, and Ram was a kid. But that era between 2004 and like 2011, 2012, where the English teams were the best in Europe, generally speaking, pound for pound. Those quarterfinal onwards knockout stages where we all played each other so regularly, they would just, because there was no clear favorite in any of those games. They were, if in the quarterfinals, take United out of it, any one of Liverpool, City, Chelsea get each other, there's no clear favorite. And that makes, when there's no clear favorite in a game, those kind of football matches have a different level of intensity. If Man United get Liverpool, City, there isn't an expectation of Man United winning because we are so much further behind those teams. But if it's Chelsea City,
do you know what's so funny as well about that period in time? Like, of course, people are going to get mad, but it's the reason why there were no clear favorites is because all the teams were so good. They were all so good, and they were all capable of beating each other. That is why, like, I just think Liverpool fans do themselves a discredit by playing their team. No, it's the truth. It's the truth.
07 to 10 was a good team. 07 to 10 was a good team.
But that's what we're talking about, though. That is
no one says that team is bad. No one says that team's a bad team.
My point is, look, when you're good, you're good. It's calm now that you have a team that you actually really, really like. You've got world beaters, you've got world-class players now, and you can definitively say that your team is a great team. So let's just enjoy it. We've got all these teams. Let's just enjoy it.
You know what I would say about the discredit is when I hear people now say the standard of football is at its highest ever in the Prem. And I kind of get the point based on some of the points totals recently. But as we said on the BV show in the studio, I think last week or the week before, I can't remember which one it was now. We kind of, if you go back to the centre backs that all our clubs had at that point and the pairings, there was like some of the greatest Premier League centre back pairings around. Defending was so much better 15 to 20 years ago. Like there was world-class centre backs everywhere that were revered. I think it was harder to beat teams. It's a little bit easier to break teams down now. The standard of football from a Premier League perspective, domestically and in Europe, between 2004 and 2012 was, I feel, is the best this country has had, especially in the Premier League era anyway. And I think we're getting back towards that now. Liverpool have been immense, but we're talking about overall quality where there's 2, 3, 4 teams that are at that kind of point. And, and that's why as well, like, listen, I don't know who they got. Who did West Ham get in the next round?
They've got an easy one, I think. Let me have a look.
Just Google West Ham.
I haven't watched the Europa League since we left.
They have got.
Let me find it.
Do they have to redo that as well, or is it just?
No.
It's not a different tournament.
I don't know if they've drawn it.
They did. They did it immediately after the Champions League one.
No, but I'm on the website of West Ham and I haven't even.
Yeah, it's not coming up.
Check Twitter.
I'm looking at.
No, I don't think it happened.
I'm gonna check it right now.
No, yeah, we made the 25th of February. It was 25th of February, the draw for the round of 16 for the Europa
Oh
League.
yeah,
they don't know. But
Yeah.
the point I was making is that, like, you know, I want I want the teams in the Europa League to do well, because I want to see our country, as in our league, dominate Europe. Like, it's nice to see that, if that makes sense. And because it's West Ham, I feel like there's no dog in the fight. So West Ham doing well in the Europa League will be a good thing for the Prem without a rival winning a trophy. So
Harry, they're doing a knockout round for the Europa League. So Barcelona entered a knockout round where they're facing Napoli. So
Yeah, it's a playoff.
Thing is still straight. They go straight to the next round. West Ham, because they won.
Yeah, they play in the round.
Yeah, we know. That's what.
That's what they just said. I just didn't know whether or not they'd already done the draw for it. They haven't. They're going to wait. But there we go. Yeah, it's going to be an intriguing one. The gap between the top and the bottom has gotten bigger, and generally defending is much worse. Well, that's the kind of take on Premier League football that's been around for a while. But then suddenly in the last 18 months, it's being turned into it's the greatest football that we've ever had here, and but we know why that's being pushed.
I think like the lower level teams are a lot better than what they were before, in my opinion. Like, I think the quality of players that they have is a lot better than what they used to have back in the day. That's how I see it.
So I kind of get that to a certain extent, and like teams are able to hold on to their players longer because there's not the necessity to sell because of money and stuff like that. But it becomes horses for courses, really. In many ways, you know, it's you kind of, from a European standpoint, then that makes things easier because we can have the monopoly of top players and managers here, which means it's easier to then win things like Champions Leagues because we have the overwhelming quality here rather than it being spread across sort of Europe. Or it's teams are not like the top teams are not as good because they can't take all the top talent. Because I kind of feel like if it was 15 years ago, there's no way Declan Rice is still at West Ham as an example.
Yeah.
And you could probably go for a lot of the teams outside the traditional top six, you know, and be like, Spurs would never have kept hold of all their players in their little pomp era recently where they played well without this new TV deal money. They wouldn't have done. There's no way they'd have been able to afford to have kept those players and turned down that money. But then what you'd have done is create a bottleneck where the teams at the top would have been a lot better, as an example. But yeah, again, I think there's an argument in every direction, but people tend to throw the argument in to try and put down other teams and boost their own. Zane's here to have you say quickly on what on the draw today. What was your take, mate? You had Salzburg, and then you end up with Inter Milano.
I mean, do you know what? All I'd say is Italian football at the moment, it don't seem that strong, that league, because, you know, Juventus got whooped by Chelsea. We slapped up AC Milan with some B-string team. So I'm not too overly concerned. Obviously, do you know what I mean? It's still got to play the game. But I think regards to the leagues, I don't think they're as strong as they have been in previous years. So it's more the name rather than actually what that league's like. So if the league's full of crap teams, do you know what I mean? That means that you're top of the league, you're good. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing when you get Salzburg. But I just think, from my point of view, you know what I mean, I'm more looking forward to the next one because we should get through. But I'm more interested in the next round because that's when it gets spicy, right? That's when we really find out what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to what that draw is going to be like because it's going to be another draw, right? They're going to draw it again once we get to the next round.
Yeah.
And then after that, then it's set then, is it? Then after that, the semis and the final.
Like a semi-final draw.
Well. Yeah. But one thing I could say as well, a lot of man in the chat are saying, why is my man Igor on the thing? Arsenal. He's Arsenal are not in any draw. They don't even the Conference League.
Why do you keep calling him Igor? His name's Gal.
I'm sorry, Igor. Sorry, bro. Sorry, I got it wrong. But the chat are wondering why you're here, bro. Because your team ain't in no draw, are they?
I'll just leave then. Peace
out. No. I'm just asking the question because who did that, bro? I was joking, bro.
That's just banter. I didn't do that.
That was just banter, bro. Honestly, that was what it was.
Why'd you call him Igor?
But one thing I'd want to say though, does anyone agree? There's a conspiracy. Man City in any cup draw, they always get the easiest team, bro. It's a fact, man. For the past 5-6 years. What's going on, man? Where's the Saudi oil money, man? It's going to some places because they always get the easiest team, man.
Yeah, only the oil teams get easy draws, like PSG.
No. I'm talking Man City.
Oil teams
in any England, cup, man.
Oil teams in England get easy draws. Chelsea and City.
No, what's mad about that Sporting? If they got Sporting in the quarterfinals, I actually think they would lose. That's why they just love to lose to these smaller teams.
Yeah. But one thing, like Zane, I know Inter are a great team, but in the overall perspective of the league, we would have ideally wanted Salzburg so we can like rest up players for the Premier League and all that, and it reduce the amount of injuries and give them a little bit of rest. But what can you do?
On that though, when is the African Cup of Nations? Because obviously, we've got that finishes at some point. What's the gap between African Cup of Nations and then the Champions League starting up again?
2 weeks.
I think it's 2 weeks.
I think your biggest worry, the biggest worry though, is COVID, because you don't know what's going to be on red lists and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
we still don't know.
That's more my concern. Rather than Salzburg could have been a much easier game clearly, but then it's more about who's available, right? Yeah. So I mean, and again,
we don't have them for the first leg, we have them for the second. Over 2 legs, we should be beating Inter Milan. We should be beating them comfortably. Yeah. Especially with the second leg at Anfield. So even if we have a poor performance at the San Siro, maybe don't win, you've got Anfield for the second leg. You'll have to make up.
I think with Liverpool, you'll already be out of the FA Cup and League Cup by then because you don't feel strongest team. I don't mean that rudely. Like you will. You're shaking your heads, but your manager is openly. I think he pretty much said it openly. He will play very weakened sides in those tournaments so that you're ready for the Champions League and fit for the Prem, right? Or am I wrong to say that?
I don't think you said it openly, but I think it's what he does.
Yeah. KJ and Terry, would you prefer Inter Milan over Atletico?
To me, they're at the same level. So
really,
either or. Yeah, either or.
Either
way, it's going to be hard for us anyway.
Massive. I think Atletico's a massive banana skin because you just know Simeone.
But Tom, they've got Cristiano, man. They've got Cristiano.
It's one player, but you've seen that Man United team doesn't get the ball to Ronaldo well.
It's history. It's history. Whenever Ronaldo faces Atletico, they get knocked out. It's been like that.
But whenever Ronaldo faces them with a team that challenges for titles, he knocks them out. Cool.
It's not only because we've got Ronaldo that have guarantee that we'll win.
This is a Man United team that have no ball. If they go behind early, especially at the Wanda Metropolitano, I could see Atleti just grinding it out. And United don't have that mentality at the minute where it's, okay, we're not going through, we'll keep going, keep joking, it'll come along. They will lose their heads. Ronaldo and Bruno will lose their heads because it's not going their way. And the players around them, i.e. Fred and McTominay, do not do their job well enough to break through a midfield like Atletico Madrid. They're not playing well at the minute, but they will be fired up to play Manchester United.
I think Man United Atletico talk it's too premature, purely based on the fact that we don't know how we're going to be playing by then. When Chelsea's Champions League draw was done in December of 2020, nobody was talking about them winning it because Lampard was the manager. By the time they started playing the games, Tuchel was there, and it became a different kettle of fish. And in fairness, Tuchel came in, it's quite late Jan, he came in, mid-late Jan. By the time you played your first Champions League game, nobody even at that point was fancying talking about Chelsea because they hadn't seen it yet. And I'm not suggesting United are going to win it. I'm not suggesting United are going to be amazing. I'm just kind of saying to people, relax a little bit. And I think wait. Everything Tom said about us right about that, where we are right now is true.
Yeah, but Terry, you've got Ragnick, right, and you've got international break. So, again, he's got some time to actually train and get the guys' fitness up. And I'm telling you, that Man United team, when they come to place Athletic, it will not be the same team that you're not seeing this season because he's got, they're going to be working harder, more fitter. They're going to be better organised, be a bit more solid in midfield because that's what Ragnick's going to do, and they're going to be putting pressure. So I do think. Hold your horses about what Man United are because you ain't seen what they're like that. And with the international break, which is useful, he's got time to get the actual training and teaching going on. Because at the moment, Christmas, you can't do much. You're just recovering game after game. You haven't got time to do any technical sessions. But when an international break happens, McTominay ain't going to be going nowhere. So at least he can be schooled a bit to be more effective.
What are you talking about? He's a mainstay for Scotland.
He's like Scotland's best centre back.
Scotland playing the playoffs as well.
Oh shit! Is it the playoffs?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot. I thought they were knocked out.
It's serious games as well. It's not even like
yeah. Well, then that might affect you guys.
We don't know where we'll be. I hope we'll be in a better place, but I would fancy us against getting a result against Atletico Madrid to get us through. I would fancy us against Inter Milan if we had got them. All the teams that we are facing now, from this point onward, we have a slight chance of doing something. We just don't know what we're going to be doing. That's all it is. So I'm just chilled. I just want to hope. I just want to see us going to the quarterfinals for the first time in flipping years. That's what I want. And if we get that, I'll be happy.
When was the last time United got to the quarterfinals?
Barcelona 2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ollie got to. We beat PSG and then we got knocked out by Barca.
Before that, was it like 2013?
Yeah, before that, a long time ago. We've been awful. I just want a slightly different subject here. A lot of people in the comments have been saying that Carrington is shut today because of a COVID outbreak. So a bit of clarity on that. It's a handful of cases. Man United have let the official bodies know that it's isolated. The people have been removed. Everybody else involved at Carrington and with the matchday squads have been tested and are clear. Samuel Luckhurst had just kind of... So Sky went out with a big headline saying, strangely, we haven't seen any players at training yet. Alan Irvine gives an update on Carrington after it was reported there's a small outbreak. But Samuel Luckhurst has quote tweeted saying, United are training later today ahead of travelling down to Brentford, providing the game goes ahead. There's still a very small chance it doesn't, hence why it's quiet at Carrington. A lot of people talk about that game being called off. As it stands right now, there is no signs it's going to be called off, as long as when they test the players before training this afternoon, that they test that they're testing negative, which is they're confident they will, because after the other people were tested positive, they tested them and they all came back negative. So the thing is, a lot of people seem like they're trying to get football cancelled at the minute for COVID. And I was trying to explain to someone the other day that, the COVID protocol they had in place after that suspension of 3 months, all the clubs have now got that back in place again with bubbles, etc. So when you're using bubbles like that, the maximum amount of time it's going to take to resolve these issues is 2 weeks. Because you isolate the people for 2 weeks who have got it, and then you bring them back into the bubble, and then it's fine. So I don't see a lot of people talking about it happening. I don't see for a single second it being done. But a lot of people are asking about it, so I brought it up. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. We've done 2 of these streams today, which was unexpected. We're back at 6 p.m. tonight for the Bet Victor show, where we're going to take a look at some of the big incidents from the weekend and preview the midweek games ahead. So it'd be great to get all of you watching, about nearly 3,000 of you watching, which is amazing. 6 p.m. Make sure you're back here at the Football Terrace. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care. Goodbye. God bless.